Let's kick off by diving straight into our evolutionary roots. For tens of thousands of years, why did men turn to violence as a solution? Was it really just about survival, or is there more beneath the surface?
That's a great starting point. At its core, male violence was often about defending resources, food, territory, family. Anthropologists cite examples from the Yanomami tribes, where inter-village raids determined access to mates and land. This pattern echoed in everything from Stone Age clans to medieval knighthood.
And as societies grew, those instincts didn't vanish. Instead, they shaped everything from law codes to legends. But the cost of these fights broke in families. Cycles of revenge can't be ignored, can it?
Absolutely. While early violence ensured group survival, it also sowed seeds of trauma. You see it in epic tales. Brothers divided, heroes haunted. Modern psychology even links inherited trauma to historical violence, showing how yesterday's wars echo in today's stress responses.
Moving from biology to society, let's talk about expectations. Why do so many cultures equate masculinity with fighting, and what's the psychological impact of that?
Societal scripts are powerful. Boys worldwide still hear, "Stand up for yourself," or "Don't back down." This links physical dominance to social value. Even studies in the American Psychological Association show that men who avoid confrontation can face shame or social exclusion.
And these scripts bleed into popular media, right? From gladiatorial games to superhero movies, the message seems clear. Fighting equals worth.
Exactly. The narrative is everywhere. It shapes identity, sometimes fueling positive traits like courage, but also pressuring men into harmful patterns, think toxic masculinity or suppressed emotion. It's a delicate balance, reinforced by both tradition and entertainment.
Let's bring that primal drive into the modern arena combat sports. How do boxing and MMA channel those ancient instincts in a controlled way?
Combat sports are modern rituals. They provide structure, rules, and safety nets, transforming raw aggression into spectacle. Neurologically, they trigger the same adrenaline and dopamine spikes as real combat. The difference is, the stakes are regulated ideally, at least.
Yet, even with rules, injuries and trauma are rampant. In boxing, for instance, studies show a 15% risk of chronic brain injury for professionals. Are we really taming violence, or just packaging it?
That's the paradox. While we're safer than gladiators, the psychological and physical toll persists. The entertainment angle often overshadows the human cost, especially in the era of viral knockouts and pay-per-view hype.
Speaking of costs, let's address the shadow side trauma and loss. What are some overlooked impacts on fighters and their communities?
Trauma is a silent epidemic. Beyond visible injuries, many athletes face PTSD, depression, and fractured relationships. The British Medical Journal found that retired MMA fighters are 3 times likelier to experience severe anxiety compared to the general public.
And the ripple effect goes far beyond the ring. Families, fans, even entire communities feel the aftermath.
Absolutely. Children of fighters often grapple with instability fighting itself.
Let's delve into the business side. Dana White claims Jones agreed to fight, even meeting steep financial terms. But with so much money and reputation at stake, who really holds the power here?
It's a complex power triangle. While Dana White and the UFC control the purse strings and publicity, fighters like Jones leverage star power to negotiate. The $12 million rumored purse is unprecedented, reflecting both Jones' draw and the pressure from fans.
Yet, as Dana says, you can't make people fight. Is this a case of fighter autonomy, or strategic stalling for better deals or legacy shaping?
Probably both. Fighters increasingly recognize their market value. Some use leverage to secure bigger paydays or avoid risky matchups. It's less about fear, more about maximizing career and legacy before stepping away.
Adding another twist, Francis Ngannou's name keeps surfacing as an alternate fight for Jones. How does this complicate the landscape, even blurring the line between sport and spectacle?
Ngannou represents the allure of crossover fame and big paydays. He's a former UFC champ who's now boxing, making him a unique draw. For Jones, a fight with Ngannou could mean more money and mainstream attention, but critics argue it undermines the merit-based order of contenders like Aspinall.
So, is this pursuit of mega fights diluting the sport's integrity, or is it a natural evolution in the age of global entertainment?
It's a double-edged sword. While super fights bring attention and revenue, they risk sidelining deserving athletes. The tension between legacy, money, and sporting fairness is sharper than ever, especially as fighters gain more influence over matchmaking.
Let's step back and examine the bigger picture. How has the fight business turned violence into such a lucrative, consumable product?
Violence sells because it triggers primal emotions, fear, excitement, catharsis. Media companies capitalize on this, packaging fights for maximum spectacle. Pay-per-view revenues, sponsorships, and global broadcasting rights often dictate who gets opportunities, not just merit or public demand.
Yet, when ego, money, and distribution collide, the human element can get lost. Do you think this dehumanization is avoidable, or is it baked into the system?
It's a structural issue. Unless fans, promoters, and athletes all demand context and accountability, violence remains a commodity. There are movements for reform like greater fighter protections, but the profit motive is deeply entrenched.
Bringing it all together, fighting seems to reveal both the best and worst of human nature. How do we reconcile admiration for warriors with the reality of exploitation?
It's a constant tension. While we celebrate bravery and skill, we must confront the systems that profit from pain. The choice isn't between embracing or rejecting violence, it's about demanding transparency, respect, and ethical standards in how fighting is organized and consumed.
So, the real question isn't just why do men fight, but how do we ensure fighting matters for the right reasons?
Exactly. By honoring the positive aspects discipline, resilience, honor while challenging the exploitation, we can choose a future where fighting uplifts rather than destroys. It's a collective responsibility, from fans to promoters.